Police closed the case, saying my sister ran away with her boyfriend, and everyone believed it but me. My parents, the neighbors, even their friends. They all nodded along when the police said, "It's young love, what can we do?" To everyone, all the evidence pointed to them running away. Both their cars were gone. Officers even found a bag with their clothes left out in a parking lot, but they didn't know Julie like I did. My sister had just gotten her acceptance letter to MIT, her dream school. She was 3 weeks away from her last regional track meet, something she'd been training months for. Julie didn't abandon things. She finished what she started, and her boyfriend Joseph was her biggest supporter. There was no reason for them to just disappear, but no matter how much I brought this up, no one would listen. Not even Joseph's brother Marco, who'd always shut me down, saying, if the police said they left together, then they did. Just drop it. But how could I when the case was handled sloppily from the start? The lead officer barely asked any questions and insisted they'll be back with grandkids in a couple of years. When I had pressed him about checking their bank accounts or phone records, he waved me off and said runaways don't usually want to be found. He didn't even search Julie's room properly, just glanced around and left. The police had closed the case in less than 48 hours. It just didn't sit well with me. So despite what everyone said, I decided to figure out what happened myself. I started asking Julie's friends what they remembered from that last week. 3 of them said the same thing. Julie and Joseph had been acting strange, jumpy, like they were scared of something. One friend said Julie acted distracted in class. Another said Joseph had stopped showing up to band practice when he'd never missed it, not even when he was sick. When I asked if they knew why, they just shrugged. I tried asking other people again, neighbors, parents, even the officer in charge of the case, but every lead went nowhere, and it quickly felt like no one cared anymore, that everyone had moved on except for me. So after another week of dead ends, I wandered off to the secret playground Julie and I used to go to as kids, sat on the swings and just cried. But as I got up, I spotted it, writing on the swing set hole in black permanent marker. My heart stopped when I recognized the handwriting. It was Julie's. I was positive. No one else in the world placed a dot inside their P's and D's. I leaned close to read it. Help followed. Trouble. J plus J. Julie and Joseph. I started walking around the playground and found more notes scratched into the metal. Dates, initials, and a few random numbers and letters written over and over everywhere. I took pictures of everything and drove straight to Marco's house. I shoved my phone in his face. Clues. We can save Julie and your brother if we can figure this all out. He stared at the photos, and this time, he didn't call me crazy or turned me away. We spent hours going through the notes. The coordinates led to different locations around town. The dates matched up with when they disappeared, and then we deciphered it. A car plate number and 2 names. One of them was the lead officer who dismissed the case. Checkmate, I whispered, feeling more hopeful than ever. Marco and I decided to follow the officer's car the next evening. Most of the day went normally. His route literally just circled 4 streets over and over. But then, around 4 p.m., his car suddenly took a different turn, driving out of town and into the woods. We stayed far back and killed our headlights when he turned down a dirt road. The car stopped at a small house hidden in the trees. We parked behind shrubs and trees and crept closer, my heart racing hard against my chest. We walked over to the back of the house and peeked through a small basement window. That's when I saw them. Julie and Joseph tied to chairs. Hope you guys had a good sleep, the officer chuckled, walking around them. Tonight we're finally delivering you. We'll be taking your fresh young organs very soon. Aren't you happy? You'll be saving lives. He laughed at their scared expressions. Marco grabbed my arm. I know what you're thinking, but don't. Let's call the real police and leave it to them. I yanked my arm back. No, I'm done relying on them. We're saving them now. You're insufferable. He shook his head. And you're welcome, I replied. We waited until the officer and the other guy went upstairs. Then we broke open the locked outdoor basement entrance and climbed through. Julie's eyes went wide when she saw us. I grabbed the officer's keys off a hook by the door and cut the zip ties with the serrated end. We ran out the basement just as footsteps started getting close and dashed towards our car. Julie and Joseph had fallen asleep on the ride to the police station, exhaustion clear on their faces. We burst into the station and told them everything. The house, the woods, the organ operation. They instantly sent a team to search for the house and officers, but by the time they got there, the house was empty and the 2 men had escaped. However, 2 days later, I spotted him at the place I least expected it. He grinned at me and held up a red flower. Full story on channel linked below.